Hello and welcome to our Masterclass. I'm Farhad Fall, Product Manager, and in this session we'll be creating a realistic office render from scratch. I'll be showing you all the tips and techniques you need to achieve a perfect result. Be mindful that this is an intermediate level tutorial, so we'll focus more on design without extensive beginner explanations. In this Masterclass, I'll go straight into it and work as if it's a real project, making mistakes and learning how to fix them along the way. I'm starting with a blank project, so first I'll save my project to the disk to make it easier to find, organize, and share. Our design begins with the walls. I'll create the walls, add windows, and adjust their placement as needed. Then we'll switch to 3D mode. I want to add a light source in this area, so I'll change the windows to a niche style to create an opening in the wall, giving the feel of a larger office space. Now, let's adjust the side windows. I'll select one, change its color, size, and type. Then right-click on the window's name to copy the properties. After that, I'll select the other windows, right-click on their names in the Properties menu, and paste to have the same settings. I'll also change the grid count. Now it's time to adjust the wall's appearance. I'll select the wall, go to Edit, choose a wallpaper, adjust the tiling size, and when I'm happy with the result, apply it to all walls. I'll repeat this process for the floor, selecting a material and making adjustments until it feels just right. Next, we'll add furniture. I'll search for workstations or simply type "work" to find options. I'll drag and drop a desk and an armchair. Place them in the right positions. And make any necessary size adjustments. I think we could use a bit more space, so I'll move the wall slightly to enlarge the room. I'll add monitors and other accessories to the desktops. We have some packs here that will help fill out the desks. I'll hide one headphone to add variety. Then duplicate this setup to the other side. Now I'll create a flower box. I'll add a box and cylinders. Adjusting them to build the shape of a flower box using simple modeling. Next, I'll make a custom wall cabinet using the same technique. Since it's challenging to work with default materials, I'll change some materials first. Starting with the workstations, I'll select one, go to isolation mode, and freely adjust its color and appearance. In the material menu, I'll select materials for different parts, and I'll do the same for the next workstation. For the flower box, I'll apply fully custom materials by using the advanced material mode. In the material library, I'll go to the All Materials section to assign different materials to each part of the object. For the cabinet panel, I want to use the same material as the flower box, so I'll select the panel, use the color picker tool, and click on the flower box to copy its material. Now, I'll create the cabinet by changing the size and positioning the parts. For the top part, I want to apply a wooden material. I'll search for wood in the material library, apply it to the selected box, adjust the texture coding mode to try planar for a better look, and rotate the texture orientation by 90 degrees to complete the design. Then, I'll simply duplicate and place the panels to finish the shelf. I want to use these panels as cabinet doors, so I'll adjust them to standard sizes, duplicate, and position them. Next, let's create a framed shelf. I think it will add a modern touch. Finally, I'll add a whiteboard so our team can jot down their plans here. Then I'll fill the shelves with books and accessories. Duplicating and mirroring some items to create visual complexity. We now have some duplicate objects in multiple places, so let's address them. Starting with the bottle, I'll select it, choose the white part using the selection tool, and change the color by right-clicking on the desired material and adding it to the object. I'll do the same with the notebooks. This time, I'll select a part of the notebook, search for a specific color in the material library, and apply it to the selected object. This gives us a much better result. I'll add flowers and plants to the flower box by dragging and dropping them from the menu and resizing as needed. Now, I'll create a custom ceiling design by adjusting the window height and adding boxes for a different material. Creating a wooden light box. I'll select a wooden material, place it, then duplicate and create vertical parts with a different texture. To make placement easier, I'll switch to orthographic views like left or front. I'll add LED lights to enhance the look. In isolation mode, I'll add spotlights. resizing the middle panels as needed to avoid shadows. For a polished look on the whiteboard, I'll apply a metallic texture by going to the Simple menu to add the texture, then moving to the Advanced Material menu to edit it. Now it's time to add curtains. I'll place them in my design and resize them. Next, let's work on lighting. I'll add the primary physical light source, duplicate it, and start positioning the lights. I want the lights to be warmer, so I'll select all of them and change properties like color, intensity, and spot angle. I'll use the same spotlights for ceiling lighting. To make it easier to place, I'll switch to the wireframe shader view. Now, I'll save the project and add a render camera to set up the render angle, position it, adjust properties, and go to the render menu to create our first render. In the render settings, I'll adjust the resolution and aspect ratio. Make final tweaks to the camera view angle. And for the exterior view, disable the grid. Add a business HDR and rotate it horizontally and vertically to get the final look. I'll adjust the sunlight, ambient light, and send the render. Let's check out our first render. As you can see, I'm not happy with the whiteboard texture, the exterior view, and the spotlight glass. I want the spotlights to have a light bubble effect, and we also need more ambient lighting. Let's make those changes. Back in design mode, I'll start with the windows and curtains. I'll delete the pre-made curtain and create a custom one by isolating the windows and using boxes for the curtain structure. I'll adjust the size, material, and duplicate them. I'll also create a holder line with cylinders. Position them correctly and group everything. Duplicating it for the other window. For the next part, I want to make the large LED light smaller and narrower. I'll use the selection filter to select only the lights and avoid accidentally selecting other objects. To create a glowing effect on the spotlights, I'll isolate them and add a free light source in front of the glass part. Then, I'll change the color, intensity, and range of the effect so it only lights up the glass, not the whole room. After that, I'll duplicate these lights in front of all the spotlights. I'll disable the selection filter, select the whiteboard, go to the material library, search for whiteboard materials, and apply one to our model. Now let's render the scene again. In the render menu, I'll make final adjustments to the environment, check the resolution, and render it. I think it's looking good, but we could use more spotlights and a bit more control over the ambient lighting. Returning to edit mode, I'll duplicate our spotlights to create a line in the middle of the room. I forgot to group the light boxes, so I'll manually select the lights one by one and duplicate them. I'll save the scene again, and let's do a final render. Alright, this looks good. I'll save the final result to my disk. Thank you for watching until the end, and I hope to see you again soon.